Well, you gotta hit the clickety clickety boom.
That is right.
That'd be a great story, children's story. Clickety clickety boom.
There's one called Clickety Clackety Moo.
Now this one sounds a little bit more like the energy of now. Clickety clickety boom. Do you have some suppressed emotions that you haven't quite healed? Clickety clickety boom.
Yeah. I think that instead of so mote it be or whatever, I'm going to go clickety clackety boom.
Boom.
I like that.
What kitty? Right, your husband can call me up and go like, "Kitty's making that sound again, clickety clickety boom." What does that mean? I'm like, "Well,
That's our spell casting with our words. Clickety clackety boom.
clickety clickety
You know.
boom." Someone has been eliminated from
Hmm?
our emotional connection, because that's what happens. That's what the beauty of Saturn return is in my world. It's like, okay, karmic reset. So all of these little people are going to come back.
Well, we have what's very interesting, and especially once Uranus or Uranus, however you like. Today, I want to call it
Today it's
Uranus.
Uranus.
Yeah. Um, and that's how I learned it. It wasn't until Dan Rather came on and called it Uranus. I'm like, what? You think it sounds like a bad, dirty word? I was 29. I so remember it. I'm like, what the heck is Uranus? Um, and so we have two of the three outer planets, which is our undercurrent, in retrograde. We have yesterday Neptune retrograde, and Neptune is very, very, very busy in this first couple of weeks. And Neptune retrograde is about the in our spiritualness and the things that are not aligned
And
in
you know what?
flow.
Yesterday, Neptune energy, I had a list that I had left at home, my grocery list at home. I had about 20 lists because my sons are coming into town. There's a wedding in town. And I had a list, like a physical list, and then I had a mental list of have you done this, have you done this, have you done this? And I did not have any angst. I was like, I was just like a ship flowing through life, and the chaos was happening and people were honking their horns, and I'm like, well, it looks like you've got a problem. How about you move out of my way? Very good, right? And everything was moving and shaking. And I mean, I got 80 things accomplished yesterday with absolutely no freakouts. And then I woke up.
Right. Yeah. And then, you know, well, I loved your message to me. Have you ever seen The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. No.
Oh, you've got to watch. It is a series, and it's set in the 50s in New York, in a community that's Jewish, and she is breaking into comedy. It is very funny. It's poignant, but it's very funny. And about how she comes to grips with all these things she's bought into in that 50s magical. I mean, this is a woman who's, when you look at Dirty Dancing, that's what they did in the summer is they went to a place like that. Okay.
Oh, so
Um,
this was the good old times when you had to go to a
well,
place like that.
and the character is breaking into comedy. And oh, you would love it. But anyway, one of the expressions for her manager is always what you were talking about, up, tits up.
Tits up.
Yeah.
Well, and that's
And
it. Tits up, man. You got to do those sort of things because we all need different levels and layers of support. So we were
yeah,
talking about that. We've got an incredible friendship, and I've got a mass of friends that I really lean on when there's a lot of challenges in my life. And then I've got my guy, different level of lean. Because men often, I'm not saying all, please keep your comments to yourselves, not in the mood today. Some men can be boobs and they offer little support.
yeah.
And some
Well,
can
they
lift you
offer
up
this. They
the
offer what
right
they
way.
understand. Yes, and if
And
they
that's it.
can't be in charge, they don't know how to support.
Well,
Yes.
and that's it. And I really realized that in the last 2 weeks because I've been doing some Understanding of my own human design. I've got a human design reading coming up. I'm so happy for all this. Like, I've been stacking in my life. Okay, in 2 weeks, I got the human design. I'm going to watch me. I'm not going to do research. I'm going to watch me and reflect on me, which to me is research, and see how these tendencies appear in my life. I am a wonderful, supportive human being. I am not a supportive employee.
You know, it's so interesting that I have subscribed to a meditation, which, if anybody's interested, I will tell you, he's a wonderful gentleman. He has been doing it, by the way, 1,262 days in a row. He does it 5 days a week. He does not do the weekends. It's a free meditation. And today he talked about just what you're talking about, understanding the car I was given. And, I use that all the time in astrology. Yes. A car has been delivered, and often we don't drive the car we have. We keep trying to be in the car that we think we are, and really looking at what you're talking about. Let me drive who I am authentically. Foibles, weird sounds my engine makes, all of those things. And that was really interesting. I'll be adding it into my astrological thing. Here's a map of your car, your human design. Here is a map. How you use it, how you respond to it, what you do with that. And it's retrograde that's what this season is about. So it was
beautiful season. It's a beautiful season, and it's spicy. That's why I said sassy. When you realize what your vehicle is, like, I'm a Dodge Charger, sunshine. If you're confused, Google it. I will win the race. I remember my brother, this is when I still had my beautiful Camaro, and my brother and I showed up at my dad's. Our family is very, very vast and disconnected, so we get to see each other on certain occasions. So we both showed up, Dad's birthday. My brother shows up in his Porsche. And I look at him and I'm like, bro, right? I want a Porsche. I want a Porsche. I'm like, do you really want a Porsche? I'm like, I want a fast car. Not really a Porsche, but I would like a Porsche. I don't really want it, but I'd like it. Buy one for a month and then sell it, kind of Porsche. And I said, oh, I know what I want. I know what I want. Hey, bro, want to race for pinks? He's like, not a chance. I'm like, why not? He's because you drive dirty. I like my car. Like, what, you think I would like slam into your vehicle to win? He's like, not think, no. You've always been like that. I'm like, have I? He's like, yeah, forever.
Yeah. I'm like, isn't it funny what we think we are hiding, and other people go, really? You don't think that? You don't see that?
Yeah, like Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. Yeah. Which one am I?
Watch the movie. I know I'm Nancy. I know who you are. in
that movie, right? I'm just like, amateur. Oh my gosh, I remember watching that movie, the documentary, and that was my thought. Amateur. If I would have done it, I would have done, right? I am a leader. I am methodical. I think of all the angles. And I'm like, of course I wasn't there, Your Honor. I was with Kitty.
And this is what we're talking about with this retrograde season. It really is. So with Saturn retrograde, it's a pause on our structure to redo it, to look at what we want, and we acknowledge those things perhaps that we don't want at this point. We have spirit internally, and then we have internally, what is the vision for me, so I can hold it for the we. And fascinating time.
Fascinating. You, with the way that you do astrology and you have your bus stop conversations and whatnot, have you ever looked at it like a mind mapping kind of experience?
Yes.
I love my son. I love my son. I sent a message to the team. What time is the wedding? The response? Saturday.
A 24-hour ceremony, huh?
Love
So,
you. Love you,
yeah,
son. I'm not
you have to
mentioning
be
your
a little
name
more specific.
online.
What time should my ass be in the seat, honey?
Well, I'm just trying to plan care for my mom, right?
Right.
Like that's what I'm trying to figure this out, right?
Right.
And
Well, and
he's
he doesn't know
also
that. He
no,
doesn't
he
know
doesn't
that. I
know
mean,
that. And he's got 2 children, 2 and 5. He's trying to get into a truck. I'm
right.
grateful I got a text message.
Yeah.
Figure it out for yourself. And we are a family of leaders. So I have 2 biological sons, 2 stepsons, and a bonus son. It's my bonus son's wedding. So 4 of my sons are entrepreneurs. One of my sons is a soldier. And that's an interesting dichotomy, right? They work well together as long as they understand whose lane is what. So if my one son that does roofing, if my other son starts giving advice about roofing, I mean, my boys are straightforward. It's like,
gee, I wonder where they got that DNA.
I don't know.
So,
Want an answer? I'll give you an answer. What kind of an answer do you want? And I think that's one of the greatest things that I've learned as a coach is what kind of an answer do you want? Can you give me and I will do all sorts of analogies. Would you like a cupcake icing answer? Like, do you want me to smooth things over for you and give you something sweet? Because if you want that, I can find a way to give you the same message, but soft and gentle, and I can sprinkle sparkles on it. If you want more of a cupcake answer, sparkles. Spirit suggested that I buy sparklers yesterday when I was at the dollar store, and I didn't. Now I know why they suggested sparklers. For me, it's not about my granddaughters. It's my sparklers. I'm lighting them up, right? Like all around the campground. Where's Nance? Over there. Because I need a release in my life. I've been working very hard and diligently. So Spirit gives us all of these things. And when we ask a question of Spirit, which is sometimes a prayer, Lord Jesus, tell me how I'm going to make it through this day. That's sometimes my prayer, right? Lord, thunder in Jesus. And then I get, do, 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 do. If the mind is so busy because you're problem solving, you're not going to be able to hear the message. So your idea is meditation.
Put your energy into a problem.
Oh, I have a problem with that. And I have a solution for that. I look back on my life when I was a problem solver. And it was funny. I'm like, do you ever see those memes? I am the problem. Those memes, those ones really bother me because I'm like, I know you are. I know you're the problem. And people say it proudly. I am the problem. Okay, well.
Wasn't it Pee Wee Herman used to say, I know you are, but what am I?
Oh my God. That was Pee Wee. I know you are, but what am I?
I know you are, but what am I? So.
Oh, I want that one tattooed on the left arm. with a little bicycle. With a bicycle and streamers and stuff. Because I want
whatever that weird laugh he did.
Well, and the reflection of the goodness of Pee Wee Herman before he became Spanky in the theater. And his life was exposed. And what a cruel world we live in. Because here's a great man, a great actor, funny comedian. And then the world just went.
Well, the world, by the way, welcome to Free Association Wednesday.
Try and keep up.
Today we're looking at all freedoms. We are taking that Saturn and we are deconstructing everything and
we're taking the bra right off. There is no bra today.
Yeah, and and we're tapping into the vision of what free association where it can take you. So, because I'm laughing at Ron Pee Wee Herman. Yeah, the world does that. We jump on weakness, which is cruel.
It is.
And if you had a chance to listen to my message, it was about kindness this month, starting with yourself. Don't jump on yourself either, because that's one reason why the world jumps, just maybe to deflect what we want to kind of beat ourselves up with. And you're right, Sassy Saturn retrograde. What is it we are deconstructing? And now with Spirit in there going, let's let Spirit be the foreman right now.
It's so true. I
Yeah.
went for a beautiful massage yesterday. I have an amazing therapeutic masseuse that I go to. And Wusa yoga. I mean, Wusa massage, Wusa yoga. And I love that Wusa, right? Like, it's just such a great word.
Like clickety clack.
Get like clickety clack, right? Clickety clack. It could be horses. It could be a gun. It's up to you. Listen carefully, right? Because that's it. When we listen to the words and the tone, we know where a person's at. We have to listen to the sound of the voice to know the emotional set point. Mm-hmm. That's why coaches are trained for hours and months and years and decades. I've got all of that in my coachingness. And that's where I get really frustrated. We're like, well, I got a certification. I'm like, I've got many. Which one do you want? I don't flaunt my certifications because they're but a stepping stone. Remember you went to school and you got your teaching degree?
I have to mute for a minute because I'm getting a call that I have to take for a second. So I'm going to listen, but I'm going to just mute.
Fair. So Kate, in her excellence, first went to university to become a teacher. So when we take a certification to become a label, right? A label that says, I am now this. I am certified. It's like a little bit more like I'm certifiable, right? I am certified. I now have this label on me. So I'm a teacher. What kind of a teacher? Well, I'm this kind of teacher because this is what I've specialized in. It's a stepping stone because there's always someone that has more experience than you. And you can learn from teachers for your entire life, or you can become opinionated and boxed in and stuck and think that you know more than someone else. Well, listen, Linda. Listen, sunshine. Wake up. That's false. That's false evidence appearing real. And that's where fear comes from sometimes. We become really fearful and we become very argumentative because I know more than you, so I'm going to fight you for it. And you know what? It's like that whole arm wrestling thing. I love watching young kids arm wrestle because you'll see that within siblings. Like, okay, let's go, right? And because of my right arm, my right arm strain and recovery, I ain't got it, right? Like I don't have the arm wrestling. I do, however, have the miscongeniality. Miscongeniality, it was when she did that. There was an acronym for it, and I can't remember the acronym, but she would step on the foot, and then she would foot, knee, groin, throat punch, I think.
Oh.
I can't remember what the exact step.
Form. Wasn't it something like form? Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, right? And because of my need.
I'm going to ask Google while we're doing this. I'm listening.
I love that. Please Google. I have a very ferocious, and I've been doing a massive amount of research. I am a writer by nature and by certification. So I've got a creative writing degree, which means I got lots of books. So character traits. So this was an interesting. It wasn't a deep dive because I didn't dive deep. It was more like let's play a game with Nance. We're going to. Sorry?
Sing. Solar plexus, instep, nose, and groin.
Okay, there was no throat.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, that would be your T-shirt. You'll be wearing the T-shirt that says, you know,
I've got one that says rock, paper, scissors, throat punch, I win. And
yeah,
and that's and I wear it not to frighten people. I'm like, oh my God, like just get to know me and you won't be so intimidated. For me, what it is it's humor. I need a lot of humor in my life lately. I have got like a shit storm of things in my life. It's just like I said to Spirit last night when I got woken up by an unexpected phone call. Like I said, FO to Spirit. And I'm like, why is it this bad bingo mojo? And I wrote about that in an article years ago, whereby it's like, okay, I'm set. Everything's good. And then it's like, you lose. Ugh. I got to play again. Oh, I get to see where my structure and foundation is not set and recalibrate. So when Spirit suggested that I do some character research for my memoir, there's one tab on this book. It's a well-used book, but I didn't tabulate it. I like tabs for easy reference. So I'm going to read you some character traits. Let's see if Kitty can guess. So the internal traits of this character type is expresses grandiose feelings, shows off, has low self-esteem, lacks empathy for others, and needs admiration. Obsessions, internal, has long-term anxiety, needs to be in control and feel safe, is inflexible, rigid, tense, and high-strung, is precise and stubborn. Collects things in his Ballard. I mean, it's a big list. I mean, like you can't like. Please don't expect yourself to check off all the boxes, right? They're traits. They're character traits, and you've got many character traits. That's a narcissist.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I had to come to terms in my life when I've had narcissistic tendencies. And that's a big one. So if you're calling others a narcissist, just take it down off the shelf, turn it around, look at the character traits of narcissism. You may sway that way when you're in a stressful situation. It's a sway. And I had to come to realization about it. I was writing about when I was losing my shit, and it wasn't like and it was that behavior because of complex PTSD. The more complex your PTSD, the more complex your characters. Traits.
Well, and one of the things we understand about narcissism when it appears in your life is it's successful. And I was telling you today, for me, this Saturn retrograde, the Neptune thing brought to me, I have issues with safety. And so it makes sense that that might be something pulled out to go, well, this will make me feel safer because look, they can control their world and I'm feeling out of control. So let me try these characteristics.
Yes.
So it's a deep, for me, seated issue with safety. Let me be in control. Let me, if I'm completely aware, nothing bad will happen. No.
Oh, you mean like the fact that I completely did everything in my power to have everything we need in the trailer, and I did that myself, and I loaded it myself. I mean, I got help at Costco. I asked my neighbors to lift the heavy stuff. I did all the stuff I need to do in my recovery of my physical body, and yet I did it all because I needed those things to feel safe. And Spirit had really been pushing me to do that. Come on, 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 right? And I did. Had I not done that, the unexpected event of last night would have thrown me into a fit of overwhelm. Oh, Jesse just told me it's about 2. So my son told me it was Saturday. My daughter-in-law told me it was about 2. They're
Yeah,
two
because she gets it. Yeah.
they're two different personalities. Chances like, what do you care about it, Mom? We're gonna be at the campsite. Like, you're the manager of the Flower Girls. You'll be on time. Like, why are you asking? I can just feel him going, meh. He's such an easygoing guy until things don't go well.
Right.
It's beautiful.
this is what retrograde season allows us to do. Try on, use it's being in that car that we're like, it's got our face on it. This is me. No, it's not. Here, let me try all these other ones. And when retrograde comes, there's no choice. It's like you're in your car seat like a kid. Look,
Oh my God, strapped in too, right?
Strapped in. Yeah, you're going to be strapped in at this point. So the more I realize, oh, this is a great learning time for me to practice who I am, then when I move out of this retrograde season, I have this practice for all those things I want to manifest. And you've been doing this for years.
I have.
I'm sure that those, one of the things that I did not live through, and I suspect you did not live through because you're not that much younger than me, is the constraining car seats we now stick children in.
No, thank God I didn't have a car seat, man.
Think about that for safety. We have them strapped like this. Yeah, like
I had to. My kids were all different. Like they all had car seats. Jarrett was he's like, hey, we're going on an adventure because we did. Jarrett was my first. We went on adventures. Then when Chance came, it was a bit different. Chance loved car rides because he felt safe in the car, the movement. He was pretty easy unless he was, not in his best frame of mind. Then along came Emily. Push. Like it was a 3-person program. Someone had to hold Em in. Like someone had to physically pick her up and put her in her car seat from about 3 months on and hold her, strap her. I mean, she'd bite you. She'd do all of it. And she was a sweet, beautiful child. Not a car seat. Had to have her jacket off. And that's how my granddaughter Sunny is. You can put her in the car seat. Take the snowsuit off before you put her in the car seat. Like get her out to the vehicle in the snowsuit because it's damn cold here in Canada. Get her in the car, take the snowsuit off, put her in it's like it's a 5-step process. So it takes that much longer. And
oh yeah, there's a whole industry now. A brilliant mother came up with a wrap that you put the child in and the car seats run through it so they can be warm, so you don't fight with the coat and all of that. Must feel very constricting for children.
Oh, it is. Can you just imagine? Come on, did you ski ever?
Yes.
So did you wear those really cool 80s snowsuits, the ones that were ski suits? They were bright neon.
No, I didn't. I always wore bibs.
AF.
Yeah, I always wore the bibs.
It was sexy to be tight in your snowsuit.
Yeah, I
did.
I'm not a person of constraint. I would wear the bibs. I'm also, and then you could actually have a sweater under them. If you needed another layer, you put it on. I had the 3-piece coat. So on a really cold day, I could have all the pieces. Yeah, no, because I didn't like that feeling of constraint. It's like.
And I enjoyed the safety of it when I was younger. When I was in my teens, I enjoyed tighter fit. It was a little bit of a fashion thing too. So like I had the 80s fancy ass quick zip jeans, the ones that zipped all the way around the crotch. Please bring them back. Dear Amazon.
Never had those.
I did.
Yeah, no, never had those. I went through a period. I graduated in 1978, and in 1976 and 1977, the style was gaucho and boots. As a matter of fact, in my yearbook, there was a whole thing about guys don't like gaucho and boots, which I liked because they're looser fitting.
Yes.
Jeans, though, went through a period where in vogue was to try to wear boy jeans. I do not have a boy's body. Now, when I look at what I used to think was heavy, that's completely different. Talk about changing your structure. It was never, and I don't have a boy's body. So to get them over my hips, you could have stuck a pregnancy pillow at the waist because that's how boys' jeans are cut. And they were ridiculous. So I didn't wear them. I had like one pair and they were so darn uncomfortable. I think I wore them twice and just like gave them away after spending the money on them because it's like, So mom jeans, though, when those came out, those are beautiful for my body. So, it is.
It
I
is.
do think
It's
it's
that.
better. I do think it's better now, even though
Oh,
there
there's
are things in
choices.
fashion. There's choices. Yeah.
There's choices. I
So
mean, you've got
yeah.
waist. Like you go high all the way down to like, oh, I ain't doing that.
Once again, if you're just joining us, welcome to Free Fall Wednesday wisdom.
Wild Wednesday, and it's
Yeah, Wild
beautiful
Wednesday.
though because
Well,
this is
it's the week of freedom. The first was
yeah,
Canada Day.
yeah.
Tomorrow is the 4th of July. So we're just free falling here today, folks.
Oh,
Yes, we're talking about because we are retrograding. We're pulling
yes.
the stuff out and going, what is this that's internally? What is going, happening with me right now? You
Mhm.
know, and
It is internal structure, internal structure. So if you are not able, aware, ready, whatever where like vibrational set point isn't there to work on this
yeah,
and everything around you, then perhaps your closet may be bothering you right now. You may be looking at your closet of clothes and going, what? What? I don't like this anymore. Why do I have a closet full of black clothes? Maybe it was for work. And I would like more color. We don't need to get rid of the closet. We don't need to break down the structure. We don't need to destroy everything. It's about that. It's really doing this, isn't it, Kitty?
yeah.
Like the
It's expanding. It's taking the erector set and moving the pieces. It is, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a chance to not have new structures imposed on us, but allowing ourselves to. I'm looking for the quote I used for my July report because I thought it was really quite.
Are you talking about the one that you did with Joe?
No, I'm talking about the monthly one I use when they tell.
Okay.
It Pluto retrograde transforms our beliefs. Neptune retrograde is practical energy to push our awakening, and Saturn retrograde allows us to look at our beliefs.
Yes. Yes.
And so that's important to know. So we have the ability right now to look at our beliefs, transform those beliefs, and have the practical energy to push our awakening with spirit. That is the combination that is happening right now.
That's it.
And then September 1st, we got Uranus that goes in, Uranus being the great awakener. Now, what do we do with that piece? And then October 9th, we have Jupiter headed in. So we have an unusual period of time.
It's my birthday.
Pluto, which Pluto will be moving out of retrograde. I want to say I usually have them written down, but I don't.
So why is it beneficial for people to know these things in advance?
Right.
Because you can begin to become aware, prepare, aware, prepare, aware,
And if you
prepare.
don't know them, you're not meant to know them at that time. But to know by the time we get to Jupiter going retrograde, we have all of our larger energies underneath talking to each other. We do have Mercury going retrograde briefly in August, and it's not the daily energies though. So the difference between these outer planets and those inner planets are everything from Mars back is energy we kind of use every single day. And so when that's retrograde, it's every single day kind of in front of us. These are the larger themes that work in the background. So again, we're looking at to look at our beliefs, transforming those beliefs, and having practical energy to push our awakening. That looks at our reality. So that's this combination that is happening through the month of July, all the way until Uranus, we're going to use that today, joins it September 1st. Pluto, which is going to dip back into Capricorn, which is when Pluto is in Capricorn, it is taking down our biggest structures. And it's going to do it during a retrograde season. So some of our biggest structures internally, and then when it moves direct, it will be in Capricorn again. It's going to reflect it externally. So what do you want to create inside that you want to mirror out? We just talked about narcissism a little while ago. Perhaps when I bring narcissism into my life, it's to mirror. Like you said, take it off the shelf.
Absolutely.
And look at where those traits may be hidden even myself. And there's a fine line between narcissism and self-care.
Oh, there most definitely is. There most definitely is. And that was actually what I was writing about when it came to that chapter. And I have been challenged in my life, internally and externally. I have a wonderful group that I work with, that is the Kick-Ass Accountability Group. And it's so funny. I mean, you look at things in hindsight, that 2020 vision, right? That 2020 COVID experience, where now we look back on it in hindsight.
Yes.
Interesting. So when I look back on my choice to have the kick-ass coach, why would I choose a kick-ass coach? Because I needed my ass kicked. Right. I needed strong direction to move forward. I mean, I've got my sticky notes. They're back up again. I used to use sticky notes a lot, and I do them to help me keep. Oh, this is karma. Help me keep track. So I just had a friend of mine. Hi, just checking in with you. I came across your elephant painting and have been thinking of you. I used to do watercolor paintings. And I was really good. And I did a silhouette of elephants in the forefront, and in the background, an incredible sunset. And my girlfriend loved elephants, so when she saw it, she went, "Oh my God, it's gorgeous!" And I'm like, "Want it?" She is from that part of my past that I was writing about, that period in time. I could look back on that time very nostalgically. Oh, those were the good old days. They were sheer hell. And I had some good friends.
And see what you were sent. I don't mean to look like I'm distracted, because I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, why am I looking at this retrograde period? And it was interesting as you were talking about this dance, talk about synchronicities happening. This is July. My friends that I'm about to travel with are talking about, let's have a dance party. The messages are popping up while I'm here online, and I'm going, yeah, of course, we're talking about dance. Here's dance. So here's another synchronicity, and we got to follow them now. Numbers, all of those things.
Oh,
so
huge.
We only have from the 9th of October, an important day to you.
Okay. 55.
Till the 12th of October.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's the 11th. What time does this happen? Because it happens at...
Oh boy, Kitty, I can't wait to tell you what's going on my 10th. On the 10th, keep going.
That all of those major planets, everything that is a bigger understanding, and this is when Jupiter, which is a bridge planet, joins. There's only 3 days, magical number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really 2.5, that they're all retrograde internally. So if I were you, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to circle those days.
Yep.
And I'm
speaking. My birthday is on the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking at the Edmonton Womanition Biz Brigade on the 10th.
Okay.
I am seeking nominations. I sent out an emailer to 400 people about the Womanition Superlative Awards. Sue Pearl, Pearl, ative. So cool. I can pronounce it because the pearl's in the middle. So it gives me the Sue Pearl ative. Because otherwise I'm like, Swah. So the Superlative Award is a series of awards: New Citizen, Philanthropy, Health and Wellness, New Business Venture, Entrepreneur, Education and Mentorship, Personal Trades, Trailblazer 55, and Spirit of the Youth Award. So I've asked my friends, my colleagues, the people who love my shine, encourage my shine, to nominate me. How else do you get an award but to ask to be nominated? It's like going to the Leo Awards, the Academy Awards, the Emmy Awards. You need to be nominated.
Right.
I can nominate myself, and I can nominate others. And it's in putting the the ball in motion that we are able to achieve. We need to act as if. I need to act as if when I go to the wedding, the weather is going to be wonderful. Because if I look at it, yeah, the weather might change though. Yeah, the forecast right now is for 5 days of sunshine increasingly. If you want to put a damper on things and drop a shit ball on my life and tell me that the weather might change, you might not be at the wedding. I don't want that energy there. The sky
Well,
is falling.
so I'm gonna so circle those days,
Oh yeah,
okay?
yeah,
Because and it's interesting that award is in the middle of it. Those would be days that I wouldn't book very much to
exactly. And that's it.
actually, yeah, I'll actually allow this huge conversation of energy to
Mhm,
happen for you,
mhm.
um, and and set that forth. Now, if you already have something planned, that's the divine intervention of that restructuring at
And
this
it's
point.
one thing planned. It's a beautiful event. If
It's better,
the
I
stars
think
align,
I think
it's a speaking event for me. The superlative awards, all the nominations need to be in by September 15th, so it's much earlier than that. And but it's a beautiful celebration of women getting together. If the stars align and my book is fully like handable to people, I didn't realize how much of a process this whole thing was. If it's physically handable to people, I will be able to hand it. If not, then it's okay. I used to be
it will probably be at least available to pre-order.
exactly. I used to be hyper vigilant, and that's where the narcissism comes in. That behavior whereby I need to make sure that everything is in control because my life was unmanageable. AA, you remember that?
Yep.
Unmanageable. I admit that my life is unmanageable.
Step one, I am powerless over addictions, people, places. You can add almost anything there, and that now I'm powerless over, and that my life has become unmanageable.
Yes. Yes.
And
It doesn't mean
that's
it
it.
can't
What's
become
that? What did we start this with? Clickety click,
boom,
clickety click,
bang,
boom.
boom,
Yeah,
bang.
clickety click, boom bang. That's when you find you're feeling unmanageable. There's the clickety click, boom bang, boom.
And
Let's
the
see.
symptoms are here. When you look at relapsing, because we relapse into behaviors and then we relapse into patterns, behavior, pattern, behavior, egg, yolk, chicken, whatever. And then we exhibit the behaviors. Like, do you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's starting in here, and you're like, oh, I can't handle this anymore. God, I need a drink of coffee. I need self-care. I need
And self
self-care. I need
self
self-care. I
care.
need self-care. I need self-care. I need self-care. So, right? Yeah.
I think what you start to learn is that self care doesn't diminish anyone else. How you approach
No.
it's not. I need self care. I need everyone to leave me alone. It's like, you know what? This is me. I'm just going to take the time alone. There's a big
Mhm.
difference in the presentation of what self care
No.
is.
Isn't that the truth? I have been enjoying hydration. Very important in my life. Therefore, I bring several bottles of my I've got water that goes through a big system, and then I also have crystals in my water. I'm very intentional about my water, so I prefer that water. It doesn't mean if you offer me water at your house, I'm not going to take it. And I take that water with me. Like I'll have like 4 bottles of my own water from my own house in my vehicle, prepared for what I need. I'm not preparing for the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Prepare for the positivity, prepare for the wonderful experience.
Right. I think it's interesting, the concept of the zombie apocalypse. Talk about free association Wednesday.
Yep.
Is there are a lot of people in a zombie state because they're still looking outside of themselves to feed and nurture and go after other people.
Mm-hmm.
And the apocalypse part now is we are taking apart everything because we're looking at what structures do not serve us. And what an amazing time this retrograde season is to be about ourselves. It's not me comparing myself outside. I don't want to be that person anymore. It's what is the person who is coming through internally, that is being restructured, that is setting forth, that is listening to spirit. Again, what allows me to look at my beliefs, transform those beliefs, and push my awakening to a desired reality. It's not just push my awakening, it's for my desired reality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so I don't want to be in a zombie state.
Mm-hmm.
So what my desired reality is, what beliefs keep me in that kind of, wow, whether it's narcissistic tendencies, whether it's martyr tendencies. That's the other one of that.
Eeyore. Are we talking about Eeyore?
Yeah. Or martyr tendencies.
Bonky. Oh,
I'm the only one who can do it. Remember, sometimes helping is the happier way of controlling. That's all.
after everything I've done for you, Kitty.
Yeah.
Can't believe you're not here. My son is getting married.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't invite me, Nance.
Yeah. Why would I be there for your son's wedding unless I was the next town over? I mean, there's
not that far. A real friend.
I've only ever had somebody once say that to me. I guess I'm just not that kind of person. A real friend. I'm like, well, if you don't think I'm a real friend, then we aren't friends.
Well, and then wait just a second. Am I make believe?
Well, it's like when people say, because I'm in a blended family, brothers and sisters, they would say, people would know that. So they would look at the picture of the 9 of us and they'd play a game, an innocent game. It's really insulting. Let me guess, who are your real brothers and sisters? And in my head, I go, as opposed to my fake brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And because real and fake, that's a polarity. And my mother would laugh. My second mother would laugh because no matter who they pointed to, I go, yep, you're right. She goes, why do you do that? And I'm like, because what if they need to do that? I don't care. It's not real and fake.
I get that with my sons. My one stepson, Joshua, there are similarities in our facial structure a bit, our personality. And I remember there's one time that we'd taken a picture and we both were happy and we were smiling and it was just joy. And oh my gosh, he looks so much like you. And I'm thinking, I didn't even go there. He does. We're happy.
Yeah, I know.
It's like red hair. At the time I was dyeing my hair red.
I have 2 grandchildren. And when you get to, because my oldest son is my bonus son, my secondary son. And
Yeah.
I don't like step, only because of all the years of Cinderella and the concept of step. And he's he's my other son's brother, and all of the different levels. And his children are my grandchildren. And it was all of the grandparents at that level were like, at this point, it's so far out. So the hardest thing is, how are we going to distinguish grandparents' names? And so I am Oma, because I'm of Dutch heritage. And, they're my grandchildren. you know, the I had somebody say, "Oh, your granddaughter looks just like you." Okay, yes, she does. You know, there may not be no genetic link, and she does. I mean, what am I going to say? My grandchildren are lovely, wonderful human beings, which,
Mhm.
as I say that, I'm like, I want to go spend some more time with them. And they're in a very busy part of their life, and we're 2.5 hours away, and sometimes we're 22.5 hours away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh, I savor the first hour to 2 hours with my granddaughters. Oh, I just savor it. Like, I mean, it is heavenly. They're sitting on my lap, they're hugging and they're kissing me. It's great. And it's this beautiful calm before the
it,
storm.
right, it
Because
is.
she's gonna go sideways within why? Because they're 2 and 5.
Right.
She's
You know,
got she touched my, and I mean, like the 5-year-old, does she torment her little sister? Often. Does the 2-year-old torment her bigger sister? Often. I mean, Kitty, she got more Fruit Loops than me, is a problem.
oh, of course it is. It's children. Having spent all those years as a teacher, you know,
Yeah.
I, one of the things, the expression now, okay, here's the teacher in me. I don't know if this is true in Canada, but people will say you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. And I'm like, no. First of all, the word is get. You get what you get and you don't get upset. There's a difference as opposed to pitch a fit because there's that expectation. I would never expect you to pitch a fit. And one of the things when I used to hand out at classrooms is you get what you get and you don't get upset. If someone wants to exchange with you, that's fine. But if I'm frozen pops, I want a blue one. Did I ask you? Like, oh, I'm sorry. You get what you get. And we would say that before we handed out a treat. You get what you get and you don't get upset. Isn't it you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit? No, because the word is get. That's an E, boys and girls.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, and I'll do that with my granddaughters when they lose it because I'm a very different grandparent than I am a parent. Um, very different, and I've evolved. So I'm like, because I let my children parent. I know my lane. I know my lane because my mother-in-law did not know her lane at all. And I will say things once it goes through, and I'll watch the play, and I'll be like, Sonny, when you're done, Nona would like to talk to you.
mm-hmm.
That's it. And I've got a beautiful cupboard in my trailer. One of the first things I did, because I love going for Happy Meals at McDonald's or any kids meal. If I'm going to go, if I'm stuck between appointments and I'm like, must eat food, I will have a small burger and small fries. Otherwise, my stomach just like it's terrible. I can't do the processed foods very well. So I got like Happy Toys up in my cupboard. And there isn't enough for everybody every time. And there's arrowroot cookies over in there. So let's look at the choices. This is what you get to choose. And because I'm a good grandparent, I'm able to parent myself better sometimes. And then I'm not. Then I reach out for friends.
And what grandparents allow is just what we're talking about with Saturn. Is a different structure, a different way to do it, a different. Now, because of my understanding of children, perhaps because I was a very young mother, in that I was a mother at 12, not because I gave birth, but because my own mother passed away and I became the little mother, which was, again, a happier way of being in control, was to take that role. Not a bad thing because life was out of control. Again, going back to safety. Yeah. So how I am with children is you always know I got your back.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a relationship. So when you are having difficulty, I'm going to help you. I remember reading a whole thing about try not to say no to your children. Find different ways to say no, give them choices.
Mhm.
And I that evolved for me to you can do it or I can help you do it, and you're probably not going to like the way I help you do it. So you choose. Because
Do you really want me to make that decision for you? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
no, I could that would be the decision. You can do it or I can help you do it, and I can probably guarantee you're not going to like the way I help you do it.
Yeah, I usually gave 2 choices.
Yeah, but
You
that's
can
the
either get
choice.
in the car or get in your room.
Well, see, mine is you can do it or I can help you do it. There's your choice isn't to do it. Your choice is how you're going to do it. And it and that's true for all of us. My choice isn't whether I'm going to do it or not often. It's how am I going to do it?
How are you going to love and support the people in your life? And the way that you love and support people in your life may not be your way. When you look at the love languages, okay, physical touch, your person may really be lovingly reassured by a touch on the shoulder, a kiss on the forehead. That can take them from mock rock, like she's going off like a rocket, down. How do you know? Because when you do it, they go, I'm really proud of you for working so hard during this difficult time in your life. Affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for you. Right?
The words of encouragement, yes.
I'm here for you. It's okay. No matter what happens, Kitty, I've got the shovel.
Right. Yeah, I love that meme that goes around. I'm going to ask you to help me. Don't ask any questions. And I can't remember the third one is, and we're going to hurt some people. And the person looks up and says, whose car are we going to use? Like that's their question, you know.
I had a conversation on the weekend, and it was one of those beautiful conversations that Spirit brought in, conversation to like, whoa, boom. And it was a definite, clear indication for me where I am in my trajectory and why. And I asked a person who their ride or die team was. I says, the person who will help you dig the hole to put the tree in when your loved one dies and you don't have the strength, right? Like people misconstrue the shovel thing. Yeah. I got a sassy
I like
sense
you
of
put the
humor.
tree in, yeah.
You put the tree in, right? And you don't have the strength to walk, and they're holding you up, like physically holding you while you are just like plodding forward. Who's your team? And this person said, I don't have a team. I said, do you have a person? I don't need a person. And I'm like, you need a team. When you don't think you need a person, you're already at team level. You just aren't aware.
Well, and going back to your thing about the love languages, we often use our own love languages on other people and then don't understand why they don't respond the way we would respond.
Yep.
And I know that's very true in my relationship in that I love my first love language is words of affirmation. Though, by the way, if you use too many of them, then I like, no, stop. My partner's is service. Load the car, do all that stuff. I have actually had to say, I don't care if you never make another meal because I'll eat a sandwich. So it's not that I don't appreciate it, but it's not my eating way anyway. What I do care about is the tone of the words that you use. You have to teach people how to use your love language. Do you realize an hour has gone by on this Free Fall Wednesday?
I know, right? Like this is wonderful. It really is. It really is. And I so appreciate every single person that's commented, whether it's on YouTube or any of the platforms that we're using. LinkedIn, I've gotten some wonderful responses through LinkedIn. I really like that one because they're like, what is she talking about? Because it's a professional platform, right?
Right.
And I am a very structured and professional person. I put together a really neat presentation. It wasn't a presentation, it was more of a like a submission for a contract portfolio to a corporate company. And then they watched a couple of my videos and they're so confused. Like,
So,
did you write that yourself? Yes, I did.
mhm.
I'm very
So,
structured.
yeah. So, like, what today though was free fall. It
It was
really
free.
was.
It was free
It
fall. A
was just
structured
small.
free fall, though. It was structured.
And
If
we're
you went back.
talking about retrograde internally. Sometimes, as we pull structures apart, if you've ever, depending how you clean, I am a person that takes everything out, cleans, and then puts it back.
Mm-hmm.
That
Everything.
that's how I pack. I pick areas. That is what I do. And sometimes that's what we're doing internally. So these things are connected. Our brains do make patterns. Well, Nance, we'll see you next Wednesday. Well, I'll
Yes,
see
we
you probably
will.
earlier than that. But
Oh gosh,
best
yeah.
blessings on the wedding. Best of luck with your
Thank
phone call
you.
this morning and how that evolves for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Thank you.
you know, you had a nice Canada Day.
It was great. It was great.
So
And you know what I really like is the way that my life has shifted so much so that I can enjoy it socially in a wonderful way and then just be like, yeah, peacing out. Gotta go.
all
Yeah.
right, much love.
Love this, love you, love everyone. Ending the stream now.